Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Selling Sanity podcast. I am your hostess, Theresa Concepcion, Esquire, and today I am breaking down why I very firmly believe that Amanza Smith and Tyler Stanaland were coached by attorneys to lie on air on their respective shows. Let me explain. As you've heard me say by now, I am a recently retired litigator. I spent about 16 years in litigation. And when you are a litigator and you are preparing for trial, one of the things that you have to do is train your witness on how to cautiously lie. What does cautiously lie means is you have to say something that's not 100% true and also not 100% false. So, for example, in Tyler Stanaland's case, okay, Alex Hall goes up to him and says, Tyler, your ex-wife is essentially insinuating on podcasts that I am the reason why your marriage to her failed. And I essentially need you to clarify the record and say that I am not the cause of your breakup. If you look at that scene and you look at Tyler's reaction, you see what I, as an attorney, call the pause. The pause is what you train your clients to do in a deposition, because one thing you don't want is to have a witness who spontaneously answers a question without taking a beat to make sure that their question and answer is going to coalesce, right? So Tyler gives the pause and then he says, I have dated other women while I was still technically married. That is such an attorney crafted answer to give. It's actually extremely funny because think about what he's saying, okay? He's trying to meet Alex Hall's needs by saying that he was involved with someone else and someone else was the cause of the dissolution of his marriage. What he actually admits is that there were other people during his marriage, but note, he doesn't address directly the issue as to whether Alex Hall was personally responsible for the dissolution of his marriage. And then he says, you're putting me in a sticky situation. That means a sticky situation legally. When celebrity couples get divorced, when they divide their assets and all those kinds of things, there generally will be some kind of provision that talks about what people can and cannot say about each other. In this case, Brittany Snow has been going around, as Alex Hall stated, insinuating that Alex Hall was the cause of the breakup of her marriage. And based on the way that Tyler answered Alex Hall on camera during Selling OC, it seems pretty clear that in the dissolution papers between Tyler and Brittany, there had to have been some kind of language stating that Brittany is not going to be restricted in any way in what she is able to talk about with respect to the dissolution of her marriage. And if Tyler were to contradict her and essentially say that Brittany is lying, then she could actually sue him for calling her a liar. And there would have to be some kind of provision in there and says the minute you call me a liar, boom, this lawsuit is getting filed and all these receipts are going to be a matter of public record. So So Brittany Snow is going around telling the truth, because if she wasn't telling the truth, Alex Hall could sue her for slander. If Alex Hall knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that she had not had sex with Tyler during his marriage to Brittany, and that there was no way for Brittany to have any proof that Alex slept with Tyler because no such proof exists, because no such incident happened, then Alex could sue Brittany in 2 seconds flat. Why? Because since Brittany was not a member of the reality TV show, she's not bound by any kind of contract that waives her ability to sue someone outside of the show, and vice versa. So the fact that Alex has not sued Brittany should tell you all you need to know about whether or not Brittany is telling the truth. The best scenario that Alex could hope for is to talk to Tyler on camera during the OC and try to get him to admit on camera, or at least say on camera, that Alex wasn't the cause of the breakup of his marriage. But now Tyler's in a pickle, or as he would say, a sticky situation, because on the one hand, he's got Alex Hall saying, I need you to say I didn't break up your marriage. And on the other hand, he's got some legally binding paper saying, if you deny that Alex Hall was responsible for the breakup of our marriage, I will haul your ass into court and publish all these fucking receipts. I fucking dare you to say Alex Hall is not the breakup of our marriage. So how do you get out from in between this rock and a hard place? You cautiously lie. As a defense attorney, I can tell you the way you cautiously lie. Just imagine if you've seen The Matrix, when Neo suddenly like bends and dodges the bullet and he moves at like warp speed. That is what lawyers try to teach their clients before they're going to trial, before they're going to deposition, before they're going on air at a reality TV show. What we try to get them to do is pause, take a beat, slow down so that you don't accidentally, impulsively say the wrong thing that's going to open you up to legal liability, and remember the sentence that we worked on. So the cautious lie that Tyler made was saying, yes, I was with other women while I was still legally married. It's a cautious lie because he's lying by omission. Because the truth is, Alex Hall is the reason for that his marriage fell apart. If you believe Brittany Snow, which we all should, because she has the legal right to say only the truth. She doesn't have the right to lie. She only has the right to say the truth without being contradicted by Tyler. So he's not saying it's Alex, and he's not saying it's not Alex. He's saying there were other women, and that is a cautious lie. Okay? And so that is why I think in that scene, Tyler was tiptoeing around the issue and he didn't give Alex Hall the victory that she was looking for, because he was very limited legally in what he was able to say, because he's probably legally bound by some dissolution of marriage agreement that he cannot contradict whatever Brittany Snow says, so long as what she says is the truth. So that's why, number one, I believe Tyler was coached to cautiously lie during this season of Selling OC while he was talking to Alex Hall about whether Alex was the reason that his marriage to Brittany fell apart. Now, let's turn our attention to the infamous cokehead Amanza Smith. This is how I can tell Amanza Smith was coached when she was giving the answers at the reunion, okay? Before the reunion was filmed, Nicole Young posted a video on Instagram and TikTok, which essentially says, if you listen to the whole thing, it essentially says that Amanza called Nicole After the cast received the preview of season 9, and Amanza realized that the footage of Amanza calling Nicole, like saying Nicole did coke, made the final cut, Amanza called Nicole and apologized for lying. She left a rambling voicemail and apologized for lying. Okay? Nicole said that before the reunion was filmed. So now Amanza has to do two things. She has to call a lawyer and she has to figure out how she's going to tackle this issue at the reunion. Because even though Amanza and Nicole are contractually precluded from suing each other for anything that happens on the show, given the fact that Nicole was fired, it's reasonable to believe that if Selling Sunset continued for a season 10, Nicole's not going to be on there. So anything that happens beyond this season is outside the realm of what Nicole could sue for. And so if Amanza didn't clear the record now and continued the narrative into season 10 that Nicole did drugs when Nicole is no longer there, then Amanza would be opening herself up to a slander lawsuit by Nicole. We're not there yet, but what Amanza doesn't want to do is admit one of the elements of slander. Okay? If you commit slander, one of the elements to prove it is that you knew that what you were saying was a lie. And that word knew or know is the key word in this situation. Because then listen to what Amanza says. She tries to retract without saying she knew her words were lies. First, I heard a story from numerous sources. I believe that story. Well, who are her numerous sources, especially when one of the things that she said was that she and Nicole had done blow together? Did Amanza just wake up still high at, Marion Romaine's one day and she was like, hey guys, who did I get high with last night? And Mary comes in the room and is like sniffing and is like, oh, you got high with Nicole. Yeah, you got high with Nicole. And then Romaine comes in and is like, yeah, you got high with Nicole. And those were her two sources so that she can go on the reunion and say, I heard from two reliable sources that you and I used to do blow together. It's stupid. She goes and says, oh, I heard from two sources. I did not witness this, that you overdosed on, cocaine. So she's backtracking without saying, I lied. And then people are like, why wouldn't you just admit it if you lied and you've been caught in the lie? Because legally speaking, if Amanda or anyone else kept up this lie narrative after Nicole has no longer been on the show, then she could rely on the footage from the reunion where Amanda said, I lied and I'm sorry, as evidence for any future action, saying, look, this is how long she's known that it's a lie. So Amanda was protecting herself from any future litigation, even though she can't get sued right now. She was protecting herself from down the line being, caught on the record saying she knew that she was lying. So she backtracked in a way that tiptoed and was a cautious lie. A cautious lie is what again? It's, telling the truth without telling the truth. It's like mixing the truth with a lie so that you can't really tell the two apart. By her saying, I heard from two reliable sources without identifying those sources, she's putting herself in a plausible deniability, umbrella where she could say, I didn't quote unquote know that I was lying when she did know. Get it? So the pause that she made when Nicole asked a yes or no question, Nicole specifically said, have you ever seen me? And then Amanda, what did she do? She did the pause. Okay, she's asking me a yes or no question, but my attorney told me not to say yes or no answers. And so I have to elaborate in a way that says I knew it was wrong without saying that I knew it was wrong. And so what do I say? I don't think that I have. The only way anyone would believe I don't think that I have would be to figure that Amanza has gotten to be so high on so many occasions that she can no longer keep track of the number of people that she's gotten high with. And that's the only way that she would be able to say, I don't think I have ever seen Nicole Young got high, because I have gotten high with so many people over so many years that I can't keep them straight anymore. Maybe it was Nicole, maybe it was Jason, maybe it was Mary. Maybe it was Chriselle. Maybe it was G. Maybe it was Emma. Maybe it was Emma and G while RuPaul was there and fucking Ben Affleck was filming the orgy for his company, Artist Equity, because he needed that to be the next documentary after fucking, Kiss of the Spider Woman failed with Jennifer Lopez. Who knows? It's fucking absurd and ridiculous. But the one thing that you can take away from both Tyler and Amanza is that their physical demeanor and their approach to conversations was stiff. It was rehearsed. They had unnatural pauses before answering questions, and all of that should show the audience that they were coached by lawyers. The answers they gave were the answers that lawyers trained them to give so that they could both avoid lawsuits in the future. So if they're tiptoeing, what are the truthful answers underneath the tiptoeing? If Tyler is precluded from saying that, Brittany Snow is wrong, then Brittany Snow is right. And Alex Hall was the cause of the dissolution of his marriage between Tyler and Brittany. If Amanda Smith is going to get in trouble for saying she knew she was lying, then she's going to tiptoe and try to backtrack without admitting that she knew she was lying, because that's an element of proving slander. So she's going to come up with some bullshit, I don't know, and I believe sources. When the truth is, she was the one who was high at the friend dinner. She is the one who on podcast has now admitted that she has been struggling with addiction since season 4 of Selling Sunset, when she had that episode at Chriselle's house. And she admitted to Chriselle on camera that CPS had gone to her house because people had made reports of Amanza being gone for days at a time and leaving her kids without food. So Amanda has a lot to answer for. And she's trying to deflect all of that by pointing the finger at Nicole instead of pointing the finger at herself and going to rehab, because that is what would be in the best interest of the 2 children that she claims to care so much about. So when you look at these people and you look at the way they talk to each other, it's not just about the words that they say, but it's how they say it and their physical demeanor when they say it. Look at the stiffness. Look at the pauses. Look at the way that they're saying the words that they're saying, so that it's not a concrete yes and it's not a concrete no. And those are the signals that someone has been coached by an attorney so that they can avoid liability in the future for the fact that they have been previously caught lying on camera. This was Selling Sanity. Thank you to the Sanity Squad for all the support. I'm your favorite lady lawyer who collects facts like snacks, and I hope you tune in for the next episode.